Now we shift to the 125-pound championship match. And one of the young men we're going to see, Carlos Blanco from California, is a young man whose brother we watched last year in these championships. Luis Blanco won the championship at 130 pounds. This is 125 pounds, and Carlos is going to duplicate, or try to duplicate, the feat of his younger brother.
Now, Rob, you said these two wrestlers met in the California State Finals at a higher weight. They were actually up at 130.
That's right. They were up at 130 pounds, and with the weight allowance they were allowed here, they're 125 pounds. And the first takedown goes to Burt Pierson, his opponent from Calvary Chapel High School. Blanco won that championship match in California and was 55-0 this year. And Pierson finished second in the state, of course. Blanco, a two-time California state champion, fifth in the state as a freshman, so he's a three-time state place winner. And Pierson, in addition to his second place finish in the state this year, was sixth in the state as a junior. And with the first takedown, it's still 2-0 in favor of Burt Pierson of Calvary Chapel, California. A minute gone here in the first period, and our official, Joe Longo, stops the match. And we'll be stopping it for blood time for Burt Pierson. Looks like we'll have to fix a bloody nose here, and Carlos Blanco will have to get himself wiped off a little. Of course, anytime there is blood, always extra precautions taken to avoid any risks.
Oh yeah, the wrestler's safety is definitely first and foremost, and these officials who have had very long days in a very long tournament have done an outstanding job. I mean, the pressure on them to make all the right calls every single time it's just something that's very difficult, and a real big tribute to them for holding their composure throughout the tournament and coming into the finals and doing what they're doing here tonight.
You just had a good look there at Burt Pierson, and we're back to live action. Pierson still on top by a 2-0 score. Blanco with the stand-up. Pierson still controlling with the single. Tried to switch off to the double, couldn't do it. Now hanging on to the ankle, trying to come behind. He did swing behind, and now a stall warning by Joe Longo against Burt Pierson, just hanging on to the ankle and not improving his position.
You have to know your players, and John Longo is a referee that wants the action. And one thing I like about him is he will talk to the wrestler. He will tell him to improve, move, and he'll be right on you to hit you with a stalling. So, he wants to keep that action going.
30 seconds left in the first period, still 2-0. The score in favor of Burt Pierson of Calvary Chapel High School. Calvary Chapel, the team state champion in California, and state champion 4 out of the last 5 years in the Golden State. And now a potentially dangerous situation. 12 seconds left in the first period, still 2-0 for Burt Pierson of Calvary Chapel High in this all-California final at 125 pounds.
Pierson showing his skills as a top man, changing real well. Blanco definitely getting the jump, getting up, and Pierson pretty good in knowing where, when, and why, and just comes out of that period with a 2-0 lead coming into period number 2.
Blanco with the option for the second period, and he hasn't decided what he's going to do yet. It looks like he's going to start neutral. So a takedown for Blanco would tie up the match, and he has been dynamite on his feet throughout this tournament. And there he is, shooting in on the low single.
That's a beauty. That single shot is great. That's a drop single. See a lot of the better wrestlers going to that. Actually taking one hand, just teeing off for a little balance on the mat, and you're just dropping to an ankle, timing the weight step, which is exactly what Pierson's doing.
And Pierson, very quick with that counter, was able to avoid giving up points without giving up the illegal figure 4 on the head. But now a bad shot, and Blanco in on the front headlock trying to spin behind. Isn't quite able to do it, and they go off the mat. Still 2-0. The score in favor of Burt Pierson of Calvary Chapel, in the Pierson on your left in the picture. And these two guys wrestled 9 or 10 times in the last few years, and Blanco's pretty much won them all, but Pierson so far with the upper hand. And now Blanco with the single trying to switch off to the double, and now trying to work up, and Pierson's in some trouble here. And the takedown given by Joe Longo. We got a tie match.
That was nice. Blanco coming up through the crotch, head high, popped one knee off, kept the inside leg. I think he's feeling a lot better about himself on his feet right now, getting that confidence level going, and we're going to see Blanco start to open up a little bit here. A lot of movement. That was sweet.
With the escape, it's back to a 3-2 lead for Burt Pierson, but now Blanco again in on the outside single. He's still got a hold of the ankle, and Pierson still with the whizzer, and almost sort of a variation of a Granby roll there by Blanco, trying to get points, and back to the double, and he had the takedown given.
That's a good call. That's a very good call. He has both legs established, going off the mat. That's right in the rule book. You'll see the picture. That's definitely 2-point takedown.
And that's the first lead for Carlos Blanco, 4-3 now, and we'll have a little bit of blood time once again for Burt Pierson. 18 seconds left to go in the second period, and Carlos Blanco, who has trailed just about all this match, and there you look at Burt Pierson, looks like he's going to have to plug up the other nostril. And now you're looking at Carlos Blanco in the other corner.
Blanco exhibiting some tremendous speed on his shots.
Once again, Blanco's brother Luis, a national high school wrestling champion last year at 130 pounds. Last year, California with 5 champions in this event. And Blanco lets Pierson go, and right away in on the single again. And again trying to work up on the double. And a good counter by Pierson, but Blanco still trying to work up. Can he beat the buzzer? We'll have to see. He does not. Time runs out, and Burt Pierson is saved by the buzzer. And 2 periods are in the books. It's tied 4-4.
Well, Blanco picked it up in the second period.
2 takedowns for Blanco in the second, and Burt Pierson with the option for the third period. He'll take down, and he's going to try for the escape and get back into the lead again. Pierson has been in the lead most of the match, and now a little bit of injury time for Blanco. He's going to have that right knee checked out. The trainer from Health South looks him over.
Health South, who has been with us the entire tournament, has been rather busy. Something that was kind of unique that I saw, I mean, you learn all the time. I saw these tape jobs that they've been doing around the bloody nose, totally around the head. Just looking at them gave me claustrophobia, but evidently that's a technique that Health South uses it with success. And once again, you know, a real big thank you to them for all the expert medical advice and the personnel that they supplied for this tournament.
Just an outstanding job by their entire medical staff here, and saw a couple of kids with those around the head wraps, and they seem to be very effective as Blanco gives up the intentional escape to start the third period, and Burt Pierson back in the lead. It's 5-4. And now Pierson with the front headlock and trying to spin behind on the left side. Blanco's got him tied up. And close to a stalemate situation, and that's what we get from Joe Longo. They'll try it again. 1:32 left to go. And
we have a stalling red,
that's the second stall warning against Burt Pierson, and the match is tied. 5-5 now the score as they work toward the edge, and they go off. 1:19 left in the third period, and the next takedown is really going to make a big difference here, it looks like.
This is something you don't want to wait for the last 20 seconds. If you're going to go, you go. You've got to establish that takedown early, and then you can have some time later on if there is an escape or change in the match to score. Once again, 1:07, 6 seconds is a lifetime in a match like this.
Blanco again in on the low single. And you got to give Burt Pierson credit. He has fought valiantly in this match, and another stalemate. Potentially dangerous. 56 seconds left to go. And Pierson has fought off Blanco's shots at every turn here.
Pierson real adept with a man very deep in shots on, and that's difficult, especially with a finisher like Blanco, who exhibited that in the second period.
Under 50 seconds now in the third period. 5-5, still the score. We're dead even as we tick toward the last seconds of regulation time. Once again, a shot, a long outside shot by Blanco and a duck under by Pierson. And they come to the edge, 31 seconds left to go.
Well, they're sparring well. It's a matter of who's going to come through with that shot. Blanco limping again.
And they're going to look at his leg again.
Pierson having his nose plugged. Small war going on out there.
5-5 and 31 seconds left to go. You know, Blanco will be following his brother Luis to Iowa State University in the fall. He signed back during the early signing period in November. Pierson's still uncommitted, but he is really shown a lot of heart and has fought off just about everything that Blanco has tried, even though he has given up 2 takedowns and 1 point for stalling, but that's all he's given up to Blanco, which is an awful lot fewer points than most wrestlers have been able to hold Blanco to in this tournament.
Well, it looks like we're ready to get back to the action. 31 seconds to go, score 5-5.
Blanco again in on the cross body single. And again trying to work up. And now he scores with it. And it's 7-5.
Now he's cut double there. He's keeping that shoulder in, trying to weasel some back points out. Also letting the official know that he is keeping him on his back, and he's got the 2-point takedown, 7-5.
5 seconds left to go, and Blanco lets him up. And it looks like it's going to wind up 7-6, and that's what it is. Carlos Blanco follows his brother Luis and is a National High School Wrestling Championship on the takedown with 20 seconds left to go. He wins it by a score of 7-6. Second place to Burt Pierson of California, also at Calvary Chapel High School. Carlos Blanco, as we said, a 2-time California state champion. This was a rematch of the state tournament. Blanco from Canyon Springs High School, kind of down in the same neck of the woods there as Calvary Chapel. These two guys met a lot of times, and they were the two best in this tournament.
Well, you see, Rob, even during the action or in between when there's a little lull or an injury, you'll see smiles by the wrestlers and the coaches. My God, if there's not a little tension relief out there, everybody explodes. And it just doesn't mean that things are easy or whatnot. It's just their own personal way of a little bit of relief and trying to keep things in perspective. And two kids like that have seen each other so many times, wrestled on the levels that they've wrestled in the finals of tournaments, and then here once again, quite a bit.
Okay, let's throw it to George Von Benko. He's with Carlos Blanco right now.
Thank you very much. I'm joined by Carlos Blanco, the champion at 125 pounds out of the state of California. Very familiar with the guy you were wrestling. You guys have gone at it before. Got a little dicey there. Waited till about 20 seconds left before you got that last takedown. Were you a little worried?
Yeah, he was blocking off a lot. We've wrestled a lot, like you said, and he knew my style, and he was just trying to keep it close. Last time I wrestled him, I beat him by 12 points, 13 points, so he was just blocking off.
You looked like you were having some leg problems a couple times during the match. What was going on with that?
I kind of banged my knee a little bit. It's all right, though.
But you're okay?
Yeah.
You're headed for Iowa State, wrestling power. You have to be happy about continuing your college career there.
Yes, I am. Iowa State has a good program, and they're getting tougher.
Carlos, I appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations. Let's go back to Rob and Ed at the table.
Thank you.